You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the September 6th meeting for the Long Beach Park Project Development Plan. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Okay, welcome. Good morning. I'm Paul Walczak. To my left, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Zach Neff.
Beggleston.
Elena Berwain.
So we are your park board, and we're going to go through our presentation today and hopefully answer a lot of questions that people have about our planning process for the park across the street. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over some ground rules for this meeting. We're going to talk about how this project came to be about. We're going to do some really fun brainstorming, and then we'll have some time for public comments and concerns. So it was in the announcement that went out, but does everybody have a smartphone or a tablet or something that they can use? Does anybody not? Either no, everybody does, or you're afraid to raise your hand, but I have a spare one. If anybody needs a device, I have a spare one up here that you can use for when we get to the brainstorming activities. Okay, so let's get into the ground rules. So this meeting is open to the public. Anybody can come. But what we're talking about here is our plan for the park across the street for the future, which is going to be funded by Long Beach residents and taxpayers and donations. So we're trying to keep the brainstorming input to Long Beach residents and property owners. Like I said in the last meeting, we don't want a big group of people from Wisconsin coming down here and saying we should have curling courts over there, because that's not for us, right? So it should be what we want for our community. Respect your neighbors and be polite. I think that one's obvious. Speak only for yourself. So this is one, I've heard a couple comments already where people have said, when things have been brought up and people have said, oh, we don't need that. And you can't really say that, because unless you've spoken to every person in Long Beach, you don't know what we as a group need. You can say, I don't need that. I don't want that. But you can't really say we as a town don't need that, because it's really just your opinion. We can disagree and still be friends. So there's a lot of smart people here, and people have different opinions, and it's okay. Zach and I disagree about some very important things, but we still work very well together. It's totally fine. We can be friends. Not part of this meeting. We're not talking about the community center. So that's a whole different topic. The building itself is a whole different thing. We're not talking about that. Financials or funding sources. How are we going to pay for this? That is a later step, right? We're going to have to look at what people want versus the money that we have at some point in the future, right? But we don't want to constrain ourselves now by having some arbitrary number, because we don't know how much money we have or how much we can raise. So we're not going to talk about financials or funding sources in this meeting. And we're not talking about other parks. We have a lot of other great parks in town, but right now we're only concerned about the one across the street here. All right, so let's get into the background. I put together a very detailed description of how we got here, and I wrote it down. And I normally don't like to read things in presentations because it sounds boring, but I wanted to make sure I read the exact same thing for each of these 3 meetings so that we're consistent. So bear with me while I explain the background of how we got here. So the park board had budgeted and completed earlier this year a tennis court crack sealing and repainting project out of necessity. We understand that there are still many dead spots and the courts really need complete renovation. We also understand the desire of residents for more pickleball courts, and specifically dedicated pickleball courts with permanent nets. So we began discussions with design firms to plan the redesign of a new improved tennis court layout, ideally with 1 dedicated tennis court, 1 combination tennis pickleball court like we have today, and 2 dedicated pickleball courts with permanent nets. This would dramatically increase the number and quality of our tennis and pickleball courts. At the June 25th Park Board meeting, a number of Long Beach residents in favor of new pickleball courts attended. We had a good discussion, and several people offered to volunteer to help raise funds to improve the courts. Following that meeting, Zach and I met with some of those who had volunteered, and we discussed how the fundraising might work in conjunction with town funding and in conjunction with the $50,000 matching grant from the state of Indiana. The group volunteering to raise donations went to work and recruited other potential donors, and the amount of money they expected to raise increased substantially. They reached out to the town and suggested that with a larger donation, perhaps we could make more major improvements across the entire park, not just the tennis courts. Because the town and the park board especially has limited funds available, we were extremely grateful for the offer to help raise a significant amount of money that could be used to improve the park. We don't know yet how much money can be raised through donations, so we don't yet know the scope of the improvements that will be possible in the park. However, we don't want to do anything in the redesign of the tennis courts that would preclude us from doing something amazing in the future in the rest of the park. So that's how we're here, right? We know we have a project in our future to redo the tennis and pickleball courts. What we don't want to do is do that now and then come up with a great plan for something in the future and find out, oh boy, if we would have just put those 3 feet further this way, we could have done this other awesome thing, right? So we're trying to have a plan now going into it that we can phase in over time. Now, I don't know how many people were aware of that background, but over the last few weeks, we've heard hearsay, misconceptions, misunderstandings, misinformation. These are all things we've actually heard. New pickleball courts going in the green space in front of the community center. The new park's already planned out. Going to make it a soccer field, and we don't need a soccer field. Maybe, maybe not. These are all false because literally, other than the fact that we are going to redo the tennis and pickleball courts, no other decisions have been made. So it's funny for us who, we know that no decisions have been made to hear out on the street someone say, oh, they're going to do this. I'm like, really? Are they? Because we have not talked about that at all. The big picture, the process that we're going through here is this. We are conducting public meetings right now to get input from everybody. That's what these are for. We're going to do some great brainstorming and try to understand what everybody wants. Once we have that, we're going to work with the design firms that we were already talking to design firms about upgrading the pickleball and tennis courts. We're going to expand the scope of that and say, okay, we want to come up with a plan, a high-level plan for the overall park. That'll be our conceptual design for the park itself. Someone brought up a question in the last one. To what level are we doing these plans? And I wanted to be clear on that. We are not doing plans that show the type of concrete and rebar and the thickness of this. This is not a detailed design plan. This is a conceptual plan. This would go here, this could go here, and so on. So we're not going to spend a ton of money on these designs. It's a conceptual plan. Once we have that, then we will conduct more of these types of meetings with the public so that we can actually have a plan to present up there. And then people can say, oh, well, yes, I wish we had this instead of that. Or what if we did this instead of that? Could this be further this way? Then we can have some of those kind of comments. These meetings have been fun for us, I think, because there's really nothing to be against because we're not doing anything. The only thing you can be against is having a plan. And if you're against having a plan, then that's cool. So fair warning for the next one, it is going to be more contentious, right? It's not going to be as friendly because some of you will not see something you were hoping to see in the plan. And I don't know what that is, but by definition, everyone is not going to want exactly the same thing. So I'm just telling you now, months ahead of time, that those meetings are not going to be as easy or fun because people will be disappointed. But as a park board, we have to do what is the best overall for the community, and we only have a limited amount of geography over there and a limited amount of money. So once we have that next round of meetings, we'll get everyone's feedback on the plan. Then we'll come up with the final plan. We'll match that up against the funds that we have. Town funds, grants, donations, and then we'll come up with a way to phase in what we're doing over time. Okay, so that is the plan overall, and hopefully that helps clear things up as to what we're actually doing. Just to set the stage so people know what we're talking about, this is the area that we're talking about. This is the park across the street from the current tennis courts all the way over to the edge of the school. I'm not going to embarrass you. It's okay.
And that is 3 separate lots today. From the community center to the tennis courts, there are 3 lots.
That's a good point. We were waiting a really long time to get a survey, a boundary survey of that space over there, so that we know how much space we have to work with. Because until we know that, we can't really decide what we want to do. So we have that survey now, which is great, and now we can go forward. But one of the things that is clear from the survey, it's made up of 3 or 4 different lots. So we're possibly going to have to combine those lots so that we don't have lot coverage issues. There's a lot of things that have to go on in the background for us to sort of infrastructure things to make this possible. Okay. Question. Now, here's the thing with questions. If you want to ask a question, you have to go over to the microphone because we have people on Zoom and they will hear nothing. So not that you can't, but you have to decide whether it's worth, if it's just a comment like, great job, Paul, just save that. Thank you. Oh, is that on, by the way? Is it the green light on? Push. Okay.
Thank you. Great job, Paul.
Name and address, please.
I don't see the flagpole lot on this plan. Isn't that included in the survey?
It's on the survey. This is just my grab from Google Maps. So this is just so that people know what parking we're talking about. This is not official.
But that green space across from the community center is part of the survey.
No,
correct?
you're talking about
front.
that way, the front of the community center?
Yeah.
No, we're not considering that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're looking at from the barrier of the community center, that there's a vertical property line there all the way past to the tennis courts. That's the space we're looking at.
You might have just answered my question. So the playground, is that included in this scope?
I think the playground, I don't think we have any reason to exclude the playground. But again, the answer is we don't know. We're not at that stage. We're trying to get input. So if someone has a great idea that would say, hey, we should do this in the playground, and everybody agrees, and we all think it's a great idea, then we might do that.
The building
if you're going to ask a question, would you just say your name and address just so we know who's who? Thank you.
The building itself is off limits. Check with some people about, because it's a historical building. What can you do? Does that include the property itself? Does it not include property? I was told that the property itself, like for example, the playground, we could modify the playground, add shade to it, do something to it, move it, as long as we're not touching the facade of the building.
Yep, exactly. The building.
But we had not conceptually, none of us in this room at least have thought about using that area where the flagpole is at this point.
Okay, now for the fun part. We're going to do some brainstorming here. If anyone has ever done brainstorming, you know the rules. There's no bad ideas at this point. We're just trying to come up with all the ideas. Later on, we might have constraints that we've identified. Physical space constraints, right? That area is, when we look at the survey, it's smaller than you think. There's not as much space there as it looks like there is. Infrastructure. Septic mounds in the front here, we can't go on those, and I don't know how close we can get to them, so that's a constraint by infrastructure. Financial constraints, obviously, we only have so much money, so we can't just do everything we want. The roller coaster is probably out for whoever was looking for a roller coaster. And then safety, I brought up the idea of an archery range. The chief, I don't think, is for that idea. So there has to be safety constraints as well. All right, this is probably the first of 5 times I'm going to say this. It's going to feel like we're voting. We are not voting. We are getting input. This is not a vote for what goes in the park plan. It's just a way for us to get input from everybody, okay? We vote in November over at the community center. This is not a vote. This is just a way to get input. I say that because it's going to feel like we're voting. We're not voting. But it clear? So this is where you can break out your smartphones. A lot of meetings, they say, put away your smartphones. Here we're saying, bring out your smartphones, your iPads, your computers. If you're doing this on Zoom, you can play along too. So I'm going to switch over here.
And we've had a couple people join on Zoom. If you could just change your name and include your address behind your name, that would be helpful. Okay.
Okay. So on this screen here, you see a QR code. Thank you. If you're in this room, or if you're watching on a computer, you can use your phone. If you just take a picture of that QR code, you will be logged into our tool. Oh, that is because of the room. Let's see. What if I put it down here?
Middle, middle.
Can't go middle, but I can turn those off. All right, that should work. If you're joining on your phone and you can't take a picture of your phone at the same time, or if you just want to use the website, you can go to that web address at the top, menti.com, menti.com, and just type in that code 87870037.
Okay.
Yes, you're allowed to get up. You can walk up there. Sorry. I only need help trying to move this to a place where people can see it.
Yes.
Well, again, it's not voting, and you may participate again. Yes. It'll take a little time here for everybody to get settled. That's fine. It's part of the process. If anybody is not able to do it, please don't worry, don't fret. If you're not able to make this work, you can always go to the next meeting. You can send us an email. You can give your comments verbally at the end. Don't worry, don't fear that your voice will not be heard if you can't make my technology work for you. He did it. Okay. Yeah, I'll open it up. If anybody that's on Zoom needs help and wants to unmute themselves on Zoom. Hearing none.
Mostly good.
Okay. Okay, a couple things now that people have had the excitement of getting logged in. We have 8 meaningful questions, 8 brainstorming questions. Before we do that, we're going to have 3 practice questions just so that everybody understands the tool. There are different types of questions that we're going to ask. So the first type of question we're asking here is called a 100 points question. The way this type of question works is you have 100 points to give. You can allocate those 100 points across any of the responses that you like. If you think that the best teams is the Bears and that's all you care about, you can put all 100 points on the Bears. If you think the Bears and the Blackhawks are the same, then you can split 50-50 or any other combination. Does anybody not understand how that works? This is a really useful way to gauge people's opinion across multiple options, and we're going to use this a lot. So I just want to make sure everybody understands how this type of question works. There is a correct answer to this question, but I was told that I'm not allowed to give it. For this question here, you can see in the bottom how many people have responded, 19 out of 34. When everybody has responded, I will show the responses. We can have it set up, and sometimes it seems like even though I set it up to not to show the responses, it'll start showing the responses live. I don't care about that for this question, but for some of the questions about the actual park feedback we're trying to get, I don't want people to be swayed or biased by what other people have said. So we're going to get everyone's feedback and then show the answers. So that's what we're practicing here. We have 27 of 34 responded. That is great. How many,
I just
how
have
many
one
people are on Zoom?
question for the group.
We've got
Who knows who the hounds are? Raise your hand. If you know who well, Cole, you do, of course.
6 people online,
Yeah, that's what
including
Rugby.
I've had this in the room. There's probably a couple.
any
iPads.
rugby fans in the room?
Anybody know who the Union are?
Yeah. No. Jay, know that one? No.
Nobody knows the Chicago Union? I would give away, I should bring prizes for the next one.
Softball.
The Chicago Union is Chicago's ultimate Frisbee team, professional ultimate Frisbee team. So this session will be educational. Okay. At some point we have to call it. So you're going to see this as well. This is a 10-second timer. But you see the timer up there? So this is how much time you have left to respond. If you didn't get this one figured out, don't worry. It doesn't really count. Okay. And then time will be up. Responding is off. So this question is closed. And now I can show the results. Boy, I'm kind of afraid to see. Oh, I mean, again, I'm not allowed to comment, but that is something.
And that is in the way all the time. There you go.
Okay. So now we have a good set of feedback there on what people think is the best. And hey, good job giving the Union Stars and Hounds some points too. All right. Okay. Anybody have any questions on that type of feedback question, the 100-point question? If not, we're going to move on to the next question. Now, don't enter this yet. Okay. So this question is, what is the best vacation spot? This is a multiple choice question. With this type of question, you can only answer once. What is the best vacation spot? I'm going to put a timer up there because this should be pretty easy. We'll make it 30 seconds. All right, I'll give you 1 minute.
For me, the submit doesn't.
Yeah, my submit is grayed out.
Stand by.
Is it because you don't have a timer on yet?
Turn on responses. Okay. After you've made your selection, thank you, Zach, tech support. At the bottom, you should see a submit button. So you can't submit your answer. Your answer does not get submitted until you press that button.
All much faster.
So where is the best vacation spot? Long Beach, California, Long Beach, Indiana, Long Beach Island, New Jersey, and Long Island, New York. Has anybody been to all 4 of those places? One person has.
Ah, we do need prizes.
All right.
Like morning.
Okay. 30 people responded. Thank you. We will look at the responses. Okay, 24 people got the right answer. Long Beach. Although it begs the question, if you're from Long Beach, do you want a vacation in Long Beach?
Place to visit or to live.
Right. Again, these are silly questions for practice. Okay, great job, everybody. Anybody have questions on the multiple choice? We're going to do these for real here in a minute. Okay. Moving on. This is an open-ended question. So you can't respond. This is good. It lets me turn on responses. I like this. Okay. So this is a different kind of question. This is sort of open-ended. You can put anything you want. What kind of new restaurant do we need in town? You're going to just free-form type whatever you want. With this type of question, I do want to show the answers because if someone said Indian, you don't need to type Indian. It's already up there. We don't need, there's no value in having multiple of the same thing, if that makes sense. Okay.
I need to turn on the.
Yep. I just turned on responses. Everybody can go ahead and.
That was going to be mine, but okay.
And they could just you can keep submitting multiple, like.
Yes, that's a great point. If you have 5 ideas for new restaurants, you can submit 5 ideas for new restaurants. Well, that was just an example. I said like if somebody put Indian and then you see that someone says Indian, you don't also need to say Indian.
So should they be popping up now?
Yes, we can see responses. Thank you.
There you go.
I don't know what this is. Did I do that?
You drew on there somehow.
No,
Pen? Maybe you can erase it.
no, that's PowerPoint.
Oh, how'd you do that?
If there are repeats, will it allow repeats to go in?
It will allow repeats. It's just,
Doesn't matter.
when we do this for real in the next phase, we're going to consolidate these so that they only show once. That's why there's no point in putting it twice.
All right.
I see some great answers here. I'm going to guess that's a typo. Okay.
Oh, donut shop, yes.
We've got all of our answers. I'm going to go ahead and start the timer again, just 10 seconds. Great answers. I don't know if people are having fun or if these are real, but Amish disco, I think, is a trend that's not appreciated, unappreciated, but upcoming. Okay, so responses are off. This is a free form question. I think most people figured out, which I should have said, you also have to push submit at the bottom when you're ready to, after you type in your answer. Okay, that was a lot of silliness, but hopefully everybody feels comfortable using the tool now. Anybody have any questions?
Actually, on this one, I also then had to hit next question. Do you guys have next question on yours? Go ahead and tap that.
Oh,
I already tapped it and then it went to the normal screen, but
Okay.
for some reason that was a two stage.
I had that too. Yeah.
Yeah, if at any point you don't see on your device what we're talking about here, raise your hand.
All right. Now we're doing real ones.
Yes, now we're doing real ones. Okay. So here we go for real. Now, one of the things I mentioned earlier is that we are planning to do an upgrade for the tennis and pickleball courts. This question, let me turn on responses. There we go. This question is specifically about racket sports. What, if anything, do you play? I play both. I play neither. Primarily pickle or primarily tennis. I know.
You can't select them, right?
Mm-mm.
If anyone needs help, just raise your hand and I'll pop out there.
Okay, got a lot of responses. 10 seconds. Anybody need more time? Okay, 10 seconds, here we go. All right. Now, on the answers to these, by the way, we are compiling all this data from all three meetings. We have spreadsheets that it goes into. We're going to go analyze this in the future. It's really tempting to analyze it now in the meeting, especially for me, because I want to look and see what people are saying. But that is not the point of this meeting. The point of this meeting is to get the input. So as much as I'm tempted, we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about the answers. Obviously, everybody gets to see it. So here's the responses we have. Again, what that means across all three meetings and other input we get, we'll have to figure that out later. But thank you. We had 32 responses, which is great. I don't know what these red X's are. I'm sure I screwed something up. I apologize. Just ignore those. Okay, moving on to the next question. This is a 100-point question, I believe. I'm going to turn on responses. Yeah, so this is a 100-point question, just like we practiced. You can put your priorities here: activities for adults, activities for children, activities for all ages, or green space and open fields. Everyone's very quiet, taking this very seriously. Thank you.
Or it's Saturday morning and you're just a little tired.
All right. Got 26 people in. I'm going to make it 30 seconds. 30 seconds or what do we have? I think 32 is our kind of our max.
32 has been the number.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
32 active people. Okay. Your responses are green space, open fields, activities for all ages, children and adults. All right. Thank you very much. Great feedback. And there we are. Okay. Next question. You guys are doing great on those questions, by the way. That practice really paid off. Next question. Do you prefer active, such as sports, fitness, and playgrounds, or passive opportunities like walking, trails, picnics, and nature? This is a no. This is also a 100-point question. You may begin.
The SAT would have been this easy.
Yeah. All right, we are cruising right along here. So I'm going to say,
There's your 32 already.
wow. Okay. These guys
Very
are really, really
decisive
good.
group. I like it.
But what did they pick? We don't know.
So exciting. This is riveting.
Okay, their responses. So by the way, betting is not allowed on this. This is town property. No wagering allowed on these answers. I don't know if anyone's making book on this, but okay. So there's our answer again. We will take this, combine it with the rest of the feedback and analyze it later. But thank you for the inputs. Moving on. How often do you visit the park today? This is a multiple choice, and don't forget you have to press submit. You may respond now.
It says responding is turned off.
It does. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I fixed it. I'm sorry. Jeez. Tough crowd.
The dog and I visited like every
I haven't been trained to expect perfection now. You may not get it. I know. I'm sorry about the red mark. I know.
It's terrible.
Okay. There are 32. Thank you. I'm going to turn off responses, show the answers. Oh, look at that. That's great to see. I think this is a great time for a plug that Zach suggested earlier. It's great to see everybody here, but you're also welcome at our regular park board meetings, which usually have
5 times.
lesser attendance. Those are also open to the public, and we'd love to see you attend those frequently as well.
Maybe not quite as entertaining as this, however.
No, definitely not as entertaining.
But
we have to be a little more serious with
try.
those.
But they're short. They're
But
short.
they're also very short.
Thank you. They're the third Tuesday evening of the month. We start at
6
Yes.
PM.
6
Please
p.m.
come.
6 Central.
Thank you. As one of the 3 normal usual attendees, thank you for saying that.
Oh,
Thank
good.
you.
Okay.
Okay, next question. This is an open-ended question. So remember the open-ended ones like the restaurants? Responses is off, so I have your attention. This is one where we are going to summarize them later. So if you see something and you think the same thing, you don't have to put it because we're going to summarize them all anyway. Okay, now you may respond. This is one of my favorite ones because it's fun to see these. This could be anything. Better lighting. I try not to give any actual comments. I don't want to bias anything, but my point is this could be anything that would make you want to use the park more often. And I'm going to try and scroll down here slowly so you can see all the things.
Oh, poop bags. That's pretty funny.
Park Sam.
Aquatic center. So when the sprinklers are running, that's just not enough for somebody.
Interesting.
Okay, raise your hand either on Zoom or here if you need more time. I don't want to cut anybody short. Okay, sounds like we've got responses. Thank you very much. Now, this was we're going to have another question after this that is similar, but they are very different. So this question was, what would make you want to use the park more often? The next question is slightly different. Notice the nuance. What specific elements would you like to see in a future park? So by elements, we mean the specific things. So I know some people already answered some of those on the previous one. If that's true, answer it again here. Here we're looking for what specific things, features, items, or whatever you'd like to see in the park.
The walking paths, I'm just questioning like that, you would be walking like from here to there.
Yeah, go ahead. That would be a specific thing you want.
If you're not sure about something, just put it on there. Yep. This is brainstorming, so err on the side of put on anything you think of, put it on there. And I should be showing the responses. I'm sorry.
So look at the screen and make sure you're not putting something down that's already being listed.
All right. Looks like they're slowing down a little bit. Anybody else still typing? Okay. No pressure.
Is this the one that we're going to be?
Yeah.
Compiling? Yeah. So how do you do like a break, like a 5-minute or? Yeah.
Yes. Anita, would you volunteer to answer any resident questions while you're here as a member of the town council?
You're the intermission entertainment.
I'm looking for entertainment during our short break.
Would you like to dance on the table? Would you like to?
I can show you my beast.
Oh,
Ooh, that looks painful.
that time of year.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 10-minute, 10-second timer. And we're going to wrap this up. Okay, responding is off. All right. Oh, you know what? You might be right. All right, I'm not going to get distracted by that. Okay, so we're going to take a quick time away here just to consolidate those and get rid of the duplicates. And then we're going to come back and do some more brainstorming. Okay, so talk amongst yourselves for a few minutes. We have at least 2 town council members here that would probably love 3. Okay, yes, 3. So feel free to talk to your town council members. I apologize for not asking you guys before, but whatever. All right. You can mute us. Mute us in the room.
Okay, we are about ready. I'm going to need about 3 or 4 more minutes. Yeah, there's just no easy way to do it. I don't want to be accused of skewing. Yeah. That makes sense. I thought you were going to click a button and do that. That's why. I wish. Yeah.
Can I have everyone's attention? Thank you. Okay. That was surprisingly easy. I'd like to thank our town council members for being available to answer questions as they always are. So great. All right. So during that little time period, we took all of the input and kind of consolidated it, and we have created a new survey input response here. What that means is you did such a good job learning how to use the QR code last time. We're going to do it again. This is a new code. So snap a picture of that QR code, and or if you're doing it online, you can go to menti.com and put in that code 3214-0556. Yep, you can. We're done with the old one. You can exit that. We're going to start a brand new one.
Why do you have to start a new one?
Because I can't remember. There were reasons. Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Your elbow.
And where's the food?
The question. The question came up, how much longer for this? This is the last actual thing we're going to do. And then we have Q&A. And you're not supposed to be
And-
saying that.
Kendra brought up a good point too. This is one of 3 meetings. So when you see these results, they could be very different than the results from the other 2 meetings. Good point. So just keep that in mind. This is a subsegment of one of 3 meetings. So when we see these results, don't feel like, oh, these are the answers, because there's 2 other meetings.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my fault. I got to keep moving it around. Nope, that doesn't work. All right, how about that? We'll take all the input and we're going to analyze it later.
We're hoping that people don't intentionally do that, because then that skews results. But we can't prevent anyone from attending all 3 meetings either. So you weren't supposed to figure that out, sir.
But like I said, it's not a vote, so it's not like it's not like you're voting twice. The question is what happens if you attend more than one meeting. We're taking all the input. So there was another question that came up. Why aren't we talking? So there's going to be a Q&A after this. And after we're done with that, we have public comment. Everybody can speak for 2 minutes if there's just something you want to mention, something you want to say. And then, you can always email us if you have other comments, or come to the park board meeting and
And they can go ahead and answer.
And it's a way to capture the comments and people's sentiment. Because since I'm the secretary, I don't want to type all that. So this is a good way to capture that, store it, and be able to study it.
Yep.
So that's really why. And talking is important, but we need to.
I'll
be
repeat the
able-
question for those people that were on Zoom. The question was, why are we doing this online? Why aren't we just talking about it? And the answer is, if we did this using notepads or whatever, this would take 5 times as long. So.
And
I also think a lot of people are realizing when they come to more than one meeting,
Good
you
point.
get different information that you can share with others. I don't think in the beginning, a lot of people thought about the septic fields, that there were limitations with those being there. So to realize there is not as much land as we had hoped to be able to consider.
Here's an important point that I wanted to make sure I mention. You will not see pickleball and tennis on here, because we've already decided we're going to do pickleball and tennis. And we didn't, at the last meeting, we kind of realized that we don't want people to waste their votes on something we know we're already going to do. So we understand all that. We had specific questions on pickleball versus tennis before. So that's a given. We want to know, okay, of the other things that we might have, Go ahead. Yes, this is a 100 point question. You can answer now. You should be on the new code. Anybody not see the new questions? And don't forget, you have to scroll all the way down.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Yeah, I recommend looking through the list first and then start putting your points in.
Can we have a tech support person help the young lady in the red over here? Right over there, I think. In the red? No, other red behind her. Are you good? Everybody's good? Okay. Okay. Okay, no rush. Take your time. You guys came up with a lot of great things, so there's a big list there to go over. So scroll all the way to the bottom, make sure you look at everything. These are arranged in alphabetical order to not be to put anything specific up front. I see a lot of people still evaluating, so take your time.
Might be about it. I know we had 32 last time, but we have only 33 signers on this time.
All right. Anybody still evaluating? Yep. Okay. All right. I'm putting a 1-minute timer up. This is an important one, so I want to make sure we don't cut anybody off. 1-minute timer. I'll take this opportunity to thank everybody on Zoom for participating and for the most part putting in your name and address. I appreciate that. Let's see. $30 seconds, although it looks like. Is everybody good? Anybody need more time? Okay. I have the power to cut this off right now. I'm going to do it. Okay, here we are. And this is what we responded. I know you may not be able to read all of those. Whoops, sorry. Stand by. Just trying to get rid of this thing. Wow. I would not have expected dog park to be at the top, but okay. Since you guys probably can't read those, and I know everyone's curious, again, this is one meeting, one time. It'll all feed into the analysis, but the results are dog park, indoor aquatic center, garden plants, trees, pavilion / event space, benches, walking / exercise path, drinking fountains, meditation, Zen, flower garden. I know there's different things, but we had to, kind of summarize them a little bit. Shade areas in playground, picnic tables, basketball court, lighting improvements, workout equipment, upgraded playground, public art, public baseball facilities, stage, or cycling repair station. So this has nothing to do with our meeting. I think it means you guys did a great job. That's the celebration. Yeah, like I said, we did not put pickleball and tennis on here because we already know we're doing that. Okay, so I know. I'm glad we have this new microphone system here in town hall. I feel like it's getting louder. Okay, so we wanted to hold these public meetings. We could have just said, hey, let's get together as a park board and come up with a plan for this. Obviously, we don't want to do that. We want to get as much town input as possible. Having these 3 meetings with all these different ways of getting input, that's our way of doing that. We're gonna have one more meeting, like I said. Once we do that and go back and put together the plan, you still may not like it, but trust that we heard everyone's input going into it. The next thing we have is just Q&A. And I don't know how many questions and answers we're going to have here. You can do it in the app, or if you want to go up to the podium, you can ask a question there. I'm going to tell you right now, if you ask anything specific about, can we do this in the park, or will we have this? The answer is going to be, we don't know, because we don't know any of that. If you have a question about the process or things like that, happy to answer that. Okay, you want to go to the podium? If you're in the room, it's probably easier to just go up to the podium, but you can also, if you want to do it anonymously, I guess you could type it into the thing. Name and your address, please.
My name is Mike Szczepaniak. I live at 2514 Oriole Trail. According to the map that you were showing in the area that you were considering to build the pickleball court, are you going to cut down all those trees that are zoned right along there next to that basketball court to fit it in?
There's 2 things there. Number one, that map I showed was just, the only purpose of that was to show you the park we're talking about. That does not imply any sort of finite area.
Okay.
But the gist of your question is, if we expand the pickleball courts, would we have to cut down trees? And the answer is yes. So we've worked with the tree board people, and we've talked about how that would look and what we'd have to do with the trees there.
Okay. The other thing is that then if the pickleball court was put there, it's going to border also on the baseball diamond. And I just want to mention again, the fire department puts an ice skating rink in the baseball diamond every winter. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of convoluted areas going back and forth.
Yeah,
that's it.
What's sorry?
We've never said where a pickleball court would go. The idea of replacing what we have today would be where it is today, and we would expand to the east with additional pickleball courts that are bordering the tennis court today. The other location of where standalone pickleball courts may go is we have no concept of where that would take place.
Yeah, if you're talking about the baseball field over by the front, no. The pickleball courts are right across the street. Tennis courts across the street.
No, I understand that, but you said that if you were looking at the area also next to that, the old basketball court that is next to the school, and putting the pickleball courts next to the school.
No,
We've never said
The
that.
only thing we've discussed for pickleball and tennis is expanding this area over here. So yeah, as far as other areas, we haven't made any discussions or talked about that yet. That's what this is for, is to get input.
Okay.
If 100% of the town said we need 47 pickleball courts and we got to find a way to do it, maybe. Obviously, that's not happening. But we're not making any assumptions about anything until we get feedback from the public.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions here? Go ahead. You got to go up to the thing and say your name and address, please. And I do have a 2-minute timer I'm starting. We probably don't have to use it, but just in case,
I could be here
make it
for
official.
10 minutes easily, but Ryan McIntosh, good morning, at 2609 Fairway Drive. Hey, Mike. So the indoor aquatic center idea, that was something that over the last several years, anecdotally, I've kind of expressed interest in with families, grandparents, retirees, long-term residents in the area, given that I'm a long-term resident as well. We have family and kids. And the kind of a light bulb moment goes off with those that we've spoken to as time has passed. And then ironically, this kind of just, or coincidentally, this comes up. And I thought, well, maybe this is an opportune time to throw out this ambitious go big or go home idea. Not something that I think we would put in phase one, but maybe it's something that we look at over the long term. Paul, to your point about the idea that we wouldn't want to preclude ourselves from the possibility of maybe doing something like this in the future by putting something else now in place where maybe it makes the most sense. So I think that's what I got out of this. And I think the idea of exploring the benefit for long-term residents who are all of us that live here full time. First and foremost, I think that should be something that we focus on in terms of how can we benefit the entire community, and not necessarily focusing on a select few. And there's nothing wrong with complementing what we want to do with the park for niche type of things. But when it comes to how we can use some of the existing space with minimal green impact area or green zone impact area, like I kind of mentioned in the slide, that maybe this is a possibility that we could explore. And just from a demographic standpoint, I think it has the potential to create alignment for Mike and his team with the fire department, for water rescue training and safety, to families of all ages that have kids that would like a place to go other than the beach when it's frozen. It looks like Antarctica in the wintertime. It's great that we are a community that is bound by water, but we're only bound by water for 3 months out of the year. And it would be awesome, I think, for families as well as those who are seniors, retirees, from a low impact and exercise kind of perspective, to be able to have a shared warm space where we can all have an activity in the doldrums of January, February, and March to be able to access and go to. So thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, no, thank you. That's honestly, that's not something we had considered. So I was glad to see that on there. That's really interesting. Thank you. Also, thanks for using coincidentally instead of ironically. I caught that. Okay. Any other questions here? Yeah, go ahead. The only thing we have left after this is public comment. So if we want to combine questions and public comments, we can, if you have questions or public comments now, feel free.
Okay, my name is Dr. Dave Plebanski. I live at 2506 Oriole Trail. And you mentioned about the pickleball court. You're not going to put it by the community center.
No, like I said, we have not decided anything, but so far
You
we
showed on the map and you mentioned it. That's what
Oh, no, I don't think it showed anything on the map.
Because if it's near the community center, not only will the noise be loud for the residents, but when you look at the community center itself, for instance, the gym is there and it's a quiet area. And so that would kind of infringe on that. In fact, there you got yoga there where people do the zen and tranquility, and the noise again would be a big problem there. And again, as Mike said, you would cut that baseball field right out. So as long as you're not putting it there, okay, that's the question I want to ask.
Yeah, well, we're going to show this map one more time because we've heard this many times from people. I'm not sure where folks are getting it, but we have never shown a map or shown a plan or done anything showing pickleball anywhere near the community center. So I don't know where this concept is coming out. So we'll just show this map one more time.
Sorry.
All it is just an overview of the park as it is right now. There's no pickleball on this. We've not talked about where they're going to be.
As long as you know about the concerns.
Yeah, I understand.
relative to
Yeah,
the community.
yeah, that's certainly going to be something that will be a concern if that ends up.
And
being
one
that.
last thing, what kind of dollar amount is the city willing to put up for this?
Well, I think that was in slide 4. I said, we're not going to talk about finances because
Okay.
when you say put up for this, we don't know what this is yet. So we got to figure that out. And then we'll take into account what people want versus how much money can we get through funding from the town, from donations, from grants. So it's a good question, and that'll come up in a future phase. But at this point, this is brainstorming, trying to figure out what people would like to see. Thank you. And we've heard that comment that people don't want pickleball next to the community center. So thank you.
Understandable. For those that live there.
David Littell, 2520 Oriole Trail. If you guys remove the trees by the pickleball courts and the tennis courts, then there should be some sort of a baffling or soundproofing, because that's going to impact the community as well. So just wanted to go on record saying that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, we have not talked about this, but one of the things that I've seen in my pickleball research is there are soundproofing things you can put around a pickleball court to try to contain some of that noise. So, that might be something we look at as well. Yep, go ahead.
Hello, Andrew Kubik, 2740 Floral Trail. I understand that the area near the community center has been mentioned as not being under consideration at this time for pickleball. And I know there have been rumors to that effect. I think myself, speaking for myself, possibly for others, we would all feel much more comfortable with the situation if we were assured at this point in time that at no time in the future will the area near the community center be considered for pickleball or any other court activities, and that area of lawn with the flagpole, the landscaping and such near the community center, which we're all familiar with, will be maintained as it appears at this very time. I think that's really what people are the most concerned about now and in the future. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And again, we've heard that comment a lot. I don't know where that started, but we don't have any intentions of putting a pickleball court there.
It's not practical.
We're not in a position to assure that anything can't happen.
That's your elected officials going forward.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It seems not practical at this point when you look at where the tennis courts currently are. So
Any other public comments in the room here? And then we'll go to Zoom. Any public comments on Zoom? Anybody want to unmute and show yourself?
There was one about the timeline. Somebody asked about the timeline.
Oh, in here?
No, on the.
Oh, I got too many screens up here. I'm sorry.
Oh, there you go.
Any idea of timeline? It's a good question. If you remember the sequence of events that I put up earlier, so we're doing these public meetings. We're going to go back and do a design phase to say, okay, what kind of a design could we do for this park? And then we'll have more public meetings. The timeline for that is really going to depend on how long it takes for us to engage with a design firm, take all this input and come up with that design. Once we have that, we can do the next round of meetings very quickly, right? We've moved forward with these meetings very quickly because we want to get stuff done. We don't want this to take a year. Idea of timeline, I can't say. Anything I say would be wrong. But we're trying to do it as fast as possible, I would say.
Within the building codes and the rules that we have to work with, just like every other resident. So that's the other thing, is once we have a plan, we like the plan, then we got to go to the building commission and get a permit approved. We might have to apply for a variance if we're using up too much of the space of the property. There's all these things. So we're going to have to do it within our rules and regulations in Long Beach as well.
Consider maybe if you are expanding the pickleball courts, doing that indoor, like any indoor courts.
Nobody on the
If you want to ask a question, you got to go up there. In the meantime, thank you for whoever pointed me to the online question, because there's actually several here. The next one is, will the park board and or town council be willing to put a reasonable dollar limit on donations for park improvements by any one individual or any one group? I don't know that I understand the question. I think we would probably accept all the donations we could get. I don't know why we'd want to limit it. Anybody want to add more to that?
Question.
Again, I can't hear you unless you go up to the microphone. We can't hear you.
I think that was a question of influence.
Okay. Just for the record, just name and address.
John Yoder, 2609 Oriole.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we'd have to cross that bridge when we come to it, but I don't know that we would be in a position to turn down money if people want to give us money.
It's still, regardless of the influence, it's still a park decision on how the money is spent.
Yes.
And that is the agreement that we've reached already with any potential donors. So the town gets to spend that money. It's just because somebody's going to give $200,000 doesn't mean that they get to put the pickleball court wherever they want to put it.
For sure.
We still get to make all the decisions, and we're going to take all your comments and considerations, into account.
Yes, thank you. I understand the question now. I don't think so, but also I don't think that's going to be a problem. We're the ones making the decision. Will pickleball courts be outside only? I think someone else just brought this question up. Again, I'll say we don't know because this is the meeting where we're getting the input and nothing has been decided. Nobody put in indoor pickleball courts, I don't think, on the brainstorming. That would be a good thing to bring up at the next one or send an email just so we don't lose
The
it.
gym has been used for indoor pickleball.
Yeah, the gym has indoor pickleball, but I'm guessing people, of course, want more indoor pickleball for the winter. Again, if there's a lot of requests for that, we would put it in the bucket to look at. Obviously, that indoor pickleball court sounds more expensive than outdoor pickleball court. I don't know, but yeah, it's a good question. Any chance of getting rid of the septic fields? The septic fields.
Oh,
Well, yeah, if we get sewer, yeah.
Not that I know of. It would be amazing if we could. If anybody has any ideas on how to do that, please come see us. I feel like we would have already uncovered that during the big project we just did, but yes, that would be great.
that could be part of a master plan, phase 3.
Is there a reason the community center cannot be part of this overall planning effort? The community center could support elements of the park and vice versa, resulting in a more integrated outcome. I totally agree with that. I think it's just bandwidth, and if we make this thing too big, we're never going to get anything done. So the community center is its own thing. It's I'm not even really sure, honestly, of the official relationship between the park board and the community center. But we don't have 100% control over the community center at this point. And honestly, I think it's just, if we make the scope too big, it gets harder to make anything that can get done. So we're just focusing on, this all, like I said in the very beginning, this started off by focusing on replacing the tennis courts, which are in bad shape, and just trying to do it in a way that doesn't preclude something else we might want to do in the park. So
Anita, isn't there a survey that's coming out regarding the community center?
Anita is saying there is a survey coming out. Do you want to go to the microphone, or otherwise I have to repeat everything you say? Sorry.
Hi, Anita Remages. So I'll be answering as the chair of the Advisory Plan Commission. So in December of 2016, the town passed a comprehensive plan. And right now, the Advisory Plan Commission is working with McKenna, who did the plan in 2016, to come up with, we've done the draft of survey questions, and they're working on questions that we'll review at the next meeting. And it will go out to all the residents, and it's about 32 questions. It just will be a lot of questions about the whole town. And answer 1 through 5, and no opinion, favorable, not favorable. So it will be all about about the town. It's about roads. It's about, the lakefront, the buildings, all kinds of things. So that will be sent by snail mail to your address listed on your water bill. So I think probably an email alert will go out from the clerk treasurer's office when it's going to be ready and when it'll be sent out to you. So that'll encompass quite a bit.
Thanks, Anita. Any other public comment in the room? Any public comment on Zoom? Going once, going twice? Okay. Well, with that, I want to thank everybody. This was great input. Please. It is seriously really important for us to get feedback from everybody. And I think by the end of these 3 meetings, we're going to have a really good sense of what people are looking for. So
Paul, if anybody has more thoughts that come to mind in the meantime and can't come to the next meeting, how would we like them to share those additional thoughts?
I think
comments?
email to our official park board email is the easiest way.
That's probably the easiest way, or anyone of us directly,
Come to a meeting.
or our website, the town website has all of our email addresses on it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thanks everybody
Thanks
on
very
Zoom.
much.
Have a great weekend.
Thanks.